If you have a child who has big reactions when things don't go their way, you're probably wondering, what should I actually do in the moment when my child is having their big reaction? You know, those moments when your child is melting down or they're angry or they won't get in the car or they're calling you the worst parent ever because you said no to a second dog. You're thinking, what should I actually do in this moment? And if we're being honest, most of us aren't thinking, how can I support my child in this moment? We're thinking, how do I get them to stop? Because when this is happening, our instinct is to get back to peace as quickly as possible. So, what we usually do in that moment makes a lot of sense. We explain logically why things can't go the way they want. We remind, we reason, we may even try to distract them. And sometimes distraction does seem to work. We say, I know you really want a dog, but remember, we're going to the zoo this weekend, and that may perk him up for a minute. So parents often ask me, is distraction a strategy I should use in the moment? Is it good for my child? Is it bad for my child? Should I continue to try it? And my answer is, it depends where you are on what I call the yuck curve. Because distraction can be beneficial, but only when someone is on the way down the curve. So if you're not sure what I mean by a yuck curve, let me just explain. The yuck curve is a rainbow shaped curve that represents what happens over time when someone is upset. So when your child hits a trigger, maybe you tell them they can't have that second dog, their big feeling, I call it yuck. Their yuck is going to get bigger and bigger. It's going to reach a peak and eventually it's going to come down. But if they're allowed to do what I call traveling the entire curve, eventually on their own, they're going to calm down. This is the science of emotions. When someone is in yuck and they're on that curve, their fight or flight response has kicked in. But eventually, fight or flight will recognize that they're safe and they will travel the rest of the curve. That's when they feel better. That's when they act better. And traveling the curve is actually a good thing. When they're able to go through the whole experience of an emotion, the body releases the emotion. It releases that yuck that they had inside. But if we stop them when they're on their way up the curve, we try to reason with them, or we get frustrated with them, or we distract too soon, that yuck doesn't leave the body. Actually, the yuck just goes inside the body. And what happens when yuck continues to go inside is later on you see more negative behaviors, moods, and attitudes. It's just piling up inside. I mean, think about this. When you've had a really hard day, maybe the kids have been fighting a lot, your house is messy, you have so many things on your to-do list, and someone comes into the room, a friend or a spouse, and you start telling them about it, and they say, well, think about this. We have a vacation coming up that doesn't actually make you feel better. You probably get more annoyed, or even if it does make you feel better, it just puts all the other things that were frustrating you before, it just shoves them underneath. They don't go away, they just go inside temporarily. And that's exactly what happens to our kids when we try to distract them too early. We might get their mind off of that yuck temporarily, but the yuck just goes back inside and it starts to pile up. So ideally, we want to let our kids travel the curve. But sometimes, let's be honest, our kids get stuck on the curve. They get stuck at the top. They never truly come down. You can tell that the yuck is still inside them. In those cases, if your child is getting stuck at the top or part of the way down on the curve, that's when you may need to do something called changing the channel. Now, I'm going to tell you that changing the channel may sound like a distraction, but it's not actually a distraction. And it's definitely not a, well, let's look on the bright side. We're actually helping them shift their attention from staying stuck on the threat. We're shifting that attention onto something that tells their brain they are safe. So if your child is stuck on the fact that I really want a dog, and if I don't get this dog, my life is going to be horrible, and I never get anything I want, and my parents are the worst thing ever, they're getting stuck on threat after threat after threat. And that's why they can't actually travel the curve, because they never feel safe enough to get out of fight or flight. So what we do in the moment is change the channel. We have them shift to something else. Now, there are a couple of ways you can actually change the channel. The first way you can do this is by changing the cognitive channel. Now, you're doing this, remember, when the intensity has already dropped a little. That's when you know they've started to travel the curve. So maybe they're slightly calmer, but still grumpy. Then you give them a mental task, not anything that's too uncomfortable, but something that will engage their brain. So you may say, hey, think of the characters from your favorite book and put them in alphabetical order. Or you may say, tell me a story about a dog named Charlie. Or you may say, can you find at least 7 things in the room that are red, orange, or yellow? So you're helping them shift from the threat to safety. When the brain can do these cognitive tasks, ones that aren't too hard, that's how the brain can tell that it's safe. Because if it can put things in alphabetical order, it knows that there's no true threat in that moment trying to hurt them. That's when they can get out of fight or flight, and that's when they can think about a situation differently. So again, you can try a cognitive task But you could also just change the environment. The brain also resets when our surroundings change. So when we're in threat mode and then we shift to another place, the brain can disengage from that threat that it's been thinking about. So if they're upset about a game, invite them to take a walk with you, ideally outside. Nature also resets our threat mode. So ideally outside. If not, just take a little walk around the perimeter of a different room or have them come into the kitchen with you to look for certain ingredients. Just changing the environment can disengage the brain from that state of threat. These changes, the cognitive task or the change in environment, teach the brain that it's safe. That's when they can finish traveling the curve. So you can see this isn't just a think positively about this situation or just a distraction for the sake of not letting them feel their feelings. You are literally teaching them to tolerate discomfort and help that discomfort pass more quickly. So remember, don't fear that yuck curve. Don't try to distract them too early because if you do, the yuck goes right back inside. Instead, let them travel the curve. And if they get stuck, that's when you can help them change the channel. Eventually, and ideally, you actually teach them to do this for themselves. Because when they learn either through your assistance or on their own to get unstuck from focusing on the threat, that's when they learn these feelings are not scary. We can handle them. And that's when they build emotional strength. That's how they start to feel more confident even when things are hard. Now, if you want to learn a little bit more about the yuck curve and how to help a child through it and how to react when someone is on that curve, there's a free resource for you below this video. You can check it out. And I also recommend that you subscribe to the channel and check out my other videos where I talk about how to bring more peace and confidence to your home as you are raising kids with big reactions.